Cheah-Foong.
Actually, the women at this table are not happy to hear such sad statistics. And you know, to know that a country like Japan has to have a population decline before they can actually start taking steps. So what more a country like Malaysia? I mean, think about what's going to be happening to women if we don't go forward with more of these thoughts and thinking. Now, I just want to start by sharing with you a story of one of my executives. She was in her 3rd trimester, heavily pregnant. She goes home. As soon as she sits down on the couch to rest after a long day's work, her mother-in-law comes up to her and says to her, you know, your husband is working very hard out, you know, every day, all day. So I hope you boil some nourishing soup for him. And she's sitting down there thinking, I wish someone would boil soup for me, you know? So, yes, the world has changed, but unfortunately, traditions and cultures have not. Women are still expected to be the major caregivers, the major carers for not just our children and our families, but also for our parents, and many times, the parents of our husbands. So traditional roles and responsibilities keep women in a set environment. So the world has moved on, but tradition and culture has not. Work for women has increased, but the appreciation and the shared responsibilities that's required to support women has not. Many things stop women. I think for those of you in the audience who have children to look after, who have parents to look after, you will, I think, experience a lot of guilt that Shivani talks about, having left your sick child at home, having to steal those hours and those moments where you have to juggle between the work, a really important meeting that you have to have with your colleagues, and having to rush home early to be with your child who needs you, who is ill. Now, these things stop women. I know these are choices that we choose to make. However, these are choices that men often don't have to make. They go home, they have a wife to take care of the maids, to take care of the family, to take care of all the other issues, daily life issues that we all have to contend with. Small challenges, but challenges nevertheless that someone has to take on to. Even the Ministry of Women is not just Ministry of Women, it's Ministry of Women, Community, Family. Right? The onus, the burden is always on the women to take care of these roles. Now, society. I don't know why I run this big company, when I'm at work, I'm talking about issues, I'm talking about work-related events and how to make the next deal, where to get a new shop, what the landlords are saying, what we have to negotiate with. But when I go out for dinner in a social environment, invariably, especially in Malaysia, it splits up into the women's section and the men's section. The men are all talking business, the latest deal, who knows what's happening in the papers. The women are talking about our families, our children, our maids, and school. You know, what is this? What is this? How are we going to get forward if society still keeps you talking about issues that's not related to advancement in careers and so on? I have to leave this group of women and say, excuse me, I need to speak to my landlord. I see him across the room. And I'm talking, unfortunately, with women. Now, a very good point brought up is men. We have to engage with men. Right now, the way that the whole business structure is this, that I've heard all these really sad statistics. Men dominate. And until men decide that they are not going to hold business meetings on the golf course, until men decide that we won't be going for happy hours because we've all got to go back to our families, our children, the whole work at home, until men decide that they want women to be with them on a level playing field, I think there's always going to be very many people stopping women. Yes, the world is different, but traditions and culture and the business environment has to change. So until society changes, until men, husbands and fathers are more accepting and supportive of their wives and their children and their daughters, until women and mothers and mother-in-laws understand that women have a different role to play nowadays. Women, there will always be something stopping women.